Hello everyone, Starkey 2014 back here again. This time I got a story time for you guys. It's a decent story, I think you'll enjoy it. Uh, this story that I'm about to tell, it takes place back in about 2018, sometime in 2018. I can't remember exactly when, because I was drinking a lot back then, so it's hard to remember exactly what month it was. Uh, But anyway, into the story. We're going to jump right into the story this time without too much farther ado. Uh, so I was just 18 years old at the time, and I had this really good friend of mine named Henry that I talked about already in one video about him passing away. And I'm going to tell the story of that eventually without naming, like, names and stuff that can get the guys that did what they did onto me, because that does scare me a little bit, because the guys are in bad news. But anyway, back into the story. So, 2018, I was 18 years old, fresh out of high school, and I was working for this lawn care company at the time called Henry Lawn Care. Uh, Great service to work for. I enjoyed working with them. The only issue was there was no work in the winter, and that's why I had to quit. Because I like to work all year round to make my money. You know, anyone would, because you need money to live, and I'm going to start stacking my money up again. I got a story on wasting $3,000 that I want to tell one day on weed. But right now we're focused on this story. Uh, so, I used to come home every night when I met this guy, and we would drink beer together and just have a good time and talk about life and all sorts of different shit. He was a really cool guy that I'm glad I had the opportunity to meet, Henry, because he also saved my life from a story that I'm going to tell you later down the line. I got a couple stories about him. Really great guy, so I want to get this out there to people and let them know about him, how good of a person he was, and what he did for me, and something he didn't have to do, but he did because he cared about me. And he knew I was a good guy. I just made a mistake. But anyway, so one night I get off work and I'm planning on heading over to Henry's house to see if he's home so we can drink some. And lo and behold, he was home, but whenever I walked over, I saw him and another buddy of mine that I'm not going to mention the name of because I don't know if he would like me naming his name, and I want to be respectful about that. But I know Henry wouldn't mind about me mentioning his name if he was still here, so that's why I'm going to mention him. But anyway, so I walk over, and as soon as I turn the corner to go up on the porch and knock on the door, I see him, Henry, and another one of my buddies sitting there that I'm not going to name the name of. And they were already drinking, and they had a stack of beer cans going. And I was like, why are you stacking beer cans? What are we doing here? And Henry told me it was a game we're playing. And now that you're here, John, he said, what we're doing is we're drinking a beer, and every time we stack a can on there, every time we finish a beer, we'll have to stack another can to the stack. And whoever knocks over that stack of beer cans, the other two have to fight that guy that knocked him over. So I was like, all right, I'm game, let's do it. Because at the time, I would fight anybody and everybody. I loved fighting, it was fun. So we get to catching a buzz and all and having a good time talking, just bullshitting like we always did. And my buddy Henry, well, I ended up knocking over the beer cans in the end, is what I meant to say. I didn't mean to go into Henry again. Sorry. But anyway, I knock over the stack of beer cans, and then after that, we take all of our stuff out of our pockets and shit just in case we fall. And I took my glasses off, of course, because you don't want to break your glasses fighting. Uh, so first up, it was Henry and I. We fought, and he hit me right here and right here really hard. And he was so fast because he was older and he had more experience than I did at the time. And he hit me really fast, and I did not see the punches coming. He was that quick. It was dark time, yes, but I should have been able to see. It was quick. And he's the only man that ever knocked me down in 2 hits in all my years of fighting. And that's impressive. Because I don't go down easy. But he knocked me down that day. And I didn't get hurt or nothing. I fell on the gravel a little bit, didn't hit my head, and I got up, dusted myself off, and after that, it was my other buddy that was supposed to fight me, and he really didn't even want to fight, but Henry talked him into doing it because the other buddy, he wasn't really into fighting. He was kind of, nervous about it at the time, but he did square up with me, and we did go for a minute, and I hit him real hard in the like right here. I hit him real hard there, and then I hit him on the eye a little bit. I was going kind of easy on him because I knew I had more experience. I didn't want to hurt him seriously bad since he's not a fighter. But I did give him a little bit of a black eye. He wore an ass whipping for a little bit, but not too long. Nothing too bad. Then after that, Henry and I went for one more round, and we switched positions. Like instead of him being on the side where the porch light was, I was on the other side. And then I just waited patiently for him to swing because it was my strategy to get a hit on him since he was really fast. And he was a little bit slimmer than I was at the time too, so that makes a difference with your speed. But he goes and we're squared up, and he goes to throw a punch at me, and I seen it coming this time because I was waiting for him to jump. And at first, I sensed him about to jump, like he went to move, and I didn't move because he didn't fully go out to punch like I thought he was going to. I was ready to counter, and luckily he didn't notice that I was about to counter when I did that because I was able to keep still enough. And then finally he does throw the first punch, and I come around like that, hit him with a big hook, and he ends up clear on the other side of me. Like, he fell pretty hard. Luckily he didn't hit his head on the concrete or nothing, but he did bruise up his arm a little bit. And he got up like I never touched him. I hit hard. I was impressed that day to see something like that. Because that guy, he should have been knocked out, but he was tough. And I got more stories that took place in Henry's yard that I do want to tell. But we were at one point looking into making a backyard fight club. We were interested in doing that. It just never come to fruition. But anyway, I think I might even tell another story since I've only been here for 7 minutes. But I don't want to run out of stories, so I'm not going to share everything about Henry in one video. But there's this other buddy of mine. I won't mention his name either because I don't think he would like it, and he might not even be around anymore because of something that he did, and I'm not going to discuss that because it's not right to discuss things like that about people. I don't like to be a gossiper, but he turned into a bad person. We'll just leave it at that. But at the time, he was a pretty good guy, and I was working with him at that lawn care company that I talked about in the last story that I just told. And he was giving me rides back and forth to work because he had the car, or a truck it was. Anyway, so he comes over and I introduced him to Henry one night, and Henry liked him, and we were sitting there drinking beers together, all three of us, and while we were sitting there drinking beers, all of a sudden, after we get about 4 or 5 beers in each, the guy that I introduced to Henry this day, he said that he wanted to fight me, and if I won, he would shave his head, because at the time we all were rocking the shaved head look, because it was something my buddy Henry was big into, and he got me on it. And I'll still probably shave my head again sometime. I just haven't done it yet because it's winter time now, so it's nice to keep some hair on you to keep warm. But anyway, back to the story. So we get out to the yard, me and this guy, and we go to start scrapping. We square up, and there used to be a video of it, but I think it got lost, and I never got to upload it nowhere. But the first punch of the first round, he knocked out my tooth, and it didn't really hurt that bad because I was drinking, but I have a high pain tolerance anyway. But I'll show you, if you probably noticed it in the videos that I'm missing that front, but I'll show you. Been missing that thing ever since I was 18. And I'm not really embarrassed about it because it's a fighting scar. You know, I take some pride in that. But anyway, so that ends the first round because I had to stop. I said, "Whoa, hold up, homie. I think I just lost a tooth." And I pulled it out. And then I handed it to my buddy Henry. And we were sitting there for maybe 30 seconds. And then we went out for round two. And round two, I knew to be careful because if he hit me in the tooth, I could lose another tooth. And I didn't want to lose another tooth. So I was trying to be conscious of that. But we were scrapping for a good minute in the second round. And then I remember he hit me on one side of my head, and I was wearing a hat at the time, and it was backwards. And in the video, you can see he hit my head so hard that my hat went from backwards to forwards in the video. But shortly after that, after we exchanged some blows and we were both going toe to toe for a minute, I went like this with my left, missed, came back, tried to get in with the backhand, and then he didn't expect me to come again with that left. But I landed right on his temple real hard with that left, and in the video you could hear a crack. Like, I think I messed this kid up a little bit. Luckily it didn't kill him because there was blood rushing from his temple, and it was the only time I was very scared about fighting. And that's why I don't bare knuckle fight anymore unless I absolutely have to for self-defense. But that's going to be the story for right now. I might pump out one more about something else besides drinking. But I do want to save a couple of those stories about Henry for another day because I don't want to make them all in the same night. That way there's more than just one video about him because he was a very good person. And he was an alcoholic. Yes, I was too, though. But he's no longer here, and I miss him a lot. I hate to see him go at fucking he was only 29 or 30, and he passed away just last year around this time. It's sad because the way he went out. But that's a topic for another video that I will tell eventually. I'll tell some about that because I want his story to be known. And I want there to be people that know about this guy and how great of a person he was. He would have gave you the shirt off his back if you asked him to. He was that nice of a guy. But anyway, I'm going to end this story time right here. And there will be one more story about Henry. And there will definitely be a lot more drinking stories to do with 2018 because that's when I went through a lot of shit from drinking. And I was young and dumb, didn't know better. But I got a better head on my shoulders now. I know a lot better than what I did and how to drink responsibly and what to do to where you don't get in trouble in sticky situations and put yourself in rough shit that you could avoid if you just stay home and drink. But we'll talk about that later. I don't want to ramble on too much about that and make this video too much of a long one. But yeah, that's about it for the story tonight. I might tell one last one tonight because I do want to get some videos out so you guys have something to watch to be entertained while I'm working and stuff. Because when I'm working, I might not always feel like uploading because work can be stressful at times, being in the food industry. But I don't want to disclose what job I work at or nothing like that. Maybe one day I'll be comfortable enough, but not right now, no. Just because some things are meant to be kept secret because of hackers and stuff, and I don't trust those guys on the internet. You gotta watch out about certain things that you tell people on the internet nowadays because so many hackers think it's funny to fucking swap people. They usually target like the gamers and stuff like that, but still it could happen to anybody, and that's very sick if you do that sort of stuff. That's not right. That's a very bad mental illness that you have if you're one of those guys that does shit like that and tries to play with life like that, because that's not funny. Someone could get killed. But I'm not going to ramble anymore. The video's over. Everyone, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and Starkey 2014 out for now. Goodbye.